up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? It is DJ Dan with you guys this morning, coming in for my boy Johnny Gorks. Hope you guys had an absolutely fantastic weekend, and yeah, daylight savings. So we're gonna run this game up an hour early. So, yeah, it was a change. It was a little bit of a change, but I'm never disappointed to get to trade earlier, so I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. But Doug KK, are you still in Hawaii, Doug KK? I know you were visiting Johnny for a while. I don't know how long you were staying there for, but that was a little while ago, I think. So take a look at the markets. Lucian's in the house. What's up, Lucian? We'll start with SPY. So we have a little bit of divergence from the SPY to a lot of individual names. So some of the individual names are still kind of headed down. A lot of the Chinese names are getting clapped today, just on more news, and I think they're still going to be weak as far as the Chinese names. So looking for some kind of shorts in Baba, K-Web, PDD, Tencent got some kind of news about lawsuits for possible money laundering. So a lot of negativity still on Chinese names. But if we take a look at the SPY, obviously we just sold off on Friday. No bounce, straight drop. So here's our daily chart. Let me maximize this one for you guys just so that we can start to take a look at it, get a full understanding where we're at. Huge up move. The last rip, this was since the coronavirus, just besides mini dips, this is our biggest dip that we've got so far off the highs, and we are below all moving averages. We are actually stacked bearish on a daily chart. So I do see us coming down a little bit again where we're actually opening today. So we're somewhere in the just right below. Oh no, so we're still in yesterday's range. So 421.88 is where we're sitting right now. 421.88. On a daily chart, we have the 8 and the 10, somewhere around the 422 mark. But we'll see if this holds. I don't have too much hope for it. The last, so this is a 15-minute chart. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles in a row with non-extended hours have all been red candles. Lots of volume on that previous candle, and we are bouncing a little bit higher than that last 15-minute candle with our most volume. So you could see potentially, I would say, a little bit of a bounce at the open. However, again, I think there's a little disconnect from the market to Philippe's in the house. What's up, Philippe? John says, I'd rather be asleep. Can you get them to adjust the trading hours? I'll put a phone call in. I'll see what we can do. I'll send them an email. They never respond to my emails. I think I use too many emojis, so they don't take me seriously. But we are above that last high volume candle, so that could potentially trap some of those last minute bears. Otherwise, just still negative pretty much across the board. Let's take a look at the Qs. So really looking for that 422.50 zone, something like that. See how it holds and interacts there. Again, on the 15-minute chart, bearish, stacked all moving averages in a downtrend. Daily chart, stacked bearish. So definitely still pulling back. We have 324. Yep, so the Qs are getting it a little bit more than the actual SPY. So still in yesterday's range, but barely hanging in there. We still have 25 minutes till this thing opens. We'll see, but tech is a lot weaker. Almost, I noticed this the other day, so you almost have some type of head and shoulders up here a little bit. There's a left shoulder, there's your head. That's probably the right shoulder. Well, realistically, that was probably the right shoulder. We attempted one last bull move, and it's just been grinding down since. So we'll see what happens, but tech looks a little bit weaker. Tesla. Tesla's definitely so the next stop on Tesla, I think we come back down to I was looking at, I think it was 7. I had it on my other screen. I think my next price target is 767. Let me just pull up that chart, see where I drew those lines. But I think it was yep. So about 767, 766. And then after that one, honestly, becomes like in the fives. But I think that's at least our next attempted bounce spot. So I'd be looking to continue bearish, sell any. For me, my plan is at least to sell any of the rips to the upside. So if we do rip, great, gives me more opportunity. I would like to, if we get some kind of a bounce to like 804, 805 zone, that's my preferred spot where I would like to sell it. I don't know if we get that, but this would be some type of retest gap. So probably not shorting it at the open. Maybe looking for some kind of a bounce. We'll see, but we have about $20 to, according to I think where this runs to, we actually have about $13 to the downside, and we still have, even on a retest, about $25 to the upside. So this retest gap, I don't really want to short it at open, but and actually have a put. Maybe I'll sell that today. Maybe I'll sell my put at the open because that should be down a little bit. But I do think this one probably ends up fading early, and then I'm looking for some kind of drop on Tesla because I think it has to hit that 767 zone. But we'll see. Apple is down today as well. Again, anything tech related, AAPL, is probably more of a sell the rip as opposed to buy the dip opportunities. So Apple on daily right now, we're opening it at 151. So this one will qualify at least. Tesla and Apple so far will qualify for us using a 10 EMA strategy out of the gate. Again, this would be a retest gap. It is right now. Oh, it's actually opening below. That's interesting. So here's our last high volume candle. I said this one pretty much the day after it happened. This, even though it's a big, massive green candle, strong close, everything looks like, if this is a just one candle analysis, that looks like a very strong candle. But realistically, where this thing opened, it was getting absolutely wrecked. So it's just a retest candle. You did have a couple of days of follow through, just kind of retesting into that resistance. And then we're looking to fade. The fact that this is dropping below that candle at this point, that's definitely not a good sign for the bulls at all. Technically, it's a retest gap. I could see this one actually just keep dropping. Maybe down to about 149 would be target today. 149.39. Get into that support and then potentially look for a bounce. But I would also have puts on Apple. I think they're a good, strong company. I don't think they're going anywhere, but they did have a pretty phenomenal run. I mean, almost about 100% in the last 8 months, 10 months. So this one probably ends up fading. I would look to get some kind of puts, especially if we do get any type of retest into the 155 zone. Get some longer term puts, I think would make the most sense, especially if you're holding some Apple in the long term. You could definitely hedge some of that risk. But I think we are coming down. Bob, what's up? What is happening? All right, let's see. Nvidia. Chips have been weak. This one is also going to, as of now, at least qualify for 10 EMA strategy. It appears. It depends on where this thing opens, but right now it looks like we're good. So this one will qualify again, stacked bearish on the daily. Everything is kind of just continuing to come down. I did draw out some lines on this one was it over the weekend or Thursday or Friday? It was Friday. One of these days. At some point, I think I expect some kind of a bounce into about this 220, 217 range. And that's probably the spot you want to look to go short. If you get any type of a retest, and the next spot, I think we could have a decent pullback on Nvidia. There's not really any real resistance up until about 199.99. So that could be about $20 to the downside. I don't know if that all happens today, but again, if we get a little bounce into potentially coming for that retest into that 222.18 really is the spot I'm looking for. I'd probably look to pick up some puts for myself at that range, and then just try to sell them at 199. Past that point, it's 192. So about $20 to the downside, 28 if it's a really strong sell-off and the market just absolutely continues. AMD 103. I don't know if I drew the lines on this one as far as the next targets. I believe I do, yeah. What is, I also have a red random line. I think the next spot is roughly around $97 on this one. So potentially $6 to the downside, short term. Otherwise, we could probably see in a little bit longer time frame, somewhere in the 80s. So 82, 83 would be the next spot that I think has to come back and eventually get tested. So could have a decent sell-off on AMD as well. But shorter term, somewhere in the $96, $97 range. So about $3 to the downside on that one. And this one, I believe, will qualify. Yep. So far, everything's qualifying. Roblox. I mean, I wouldn't. I know some people like Roblox. I'm not opposed to Roblox. I could see why the story is so exciting and people like it. Or actually liked it more back here. I don't think you're seeing the same bullishness back here, but it's at 52-week lows. It's at all-time lows. I do not like to chase things that are 52-week lows. I don't like what the only incentive for me trying to catch a falling knife is like, I really like this stock, but I'm hoping there's upside. Otherwise, trying to catch something at 52-week lows, it can always go lower. And there's no reason, there's no good story, at least at the moment, as to why some of these things could reverse. So I'm going to continue to be bearish on Roblox. I don't know how far this thing can go. Strictly valuation wise, it hasn't been listed that long, but we're way below that IPO price. So if you were excited at IPO, this should give you some kind of spot, at least like, hey, at least I'm getting in below that. Otherwise, there's zero reason for me to want to play this. This is a retest gap. So at open, I expect some kind of maybe possible fade up to probably that 39.24 zone, and then looks to fade down. But yeah, just the trend has been, it's broken. It's just broken. Delta. Lucian says, man, I waited forever for 60. Now I'm waiting for 60 again. I'm not, just keep making you wait. The market will definitely test your patience in every direction possible. And Roblox is definitely helping with that one for sure in every possible. It was at 120 and then it lost 50% valuation. Now it needs 100% just to get back up to that 120. So we will see. They need some magic to happen. I don't know what saves Roblox, but yeah, it's down trending. Here's one. So we got Delta gapping up. Oh, okay. Looks different than the market. Will not qualify for 10 EMA strategy as of yet. So we're gonna have to wait at least 20 minutes to trade this one. It's gapping up. I wonder if oil prices are down. Yep. So oil prices are down about 4% right now. So probably getting some kind of relief for Delta, AAL, I would assume. AAL getting a little bit of a bounce. That's at $14. CCL. So anything in these, anything that is requiring oil seems to be going up. What about Boeing? Boeing with a little bit of bounce too. So airlines, cruise lines, things like that. They're probably not moving independently for themselves, but just based on the price of oil. RCL has hedged a lot of their oil last year, so they're getting their bounce from oil. But the good news with them is they don't have to, like, they're going to save a lot of money. When it comes to any of the cruise lines, so yes, the prices are low on pretty much every cruise line, even if it's a reopening play. I get the concept of it, but with the amount of debt that any of these companies have built up over the COVID period, over the year and a half that they really didn't sail, it's going to take a lot for them to get back to the same type of companies they were before. So just keep it in mind, yes, they're low, but it could take a very long time for some of these guys just to start clearing some of the debt that they have. And then I think there was, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think there was some kind of new variant coming out in China. I just saw brief articles. So I don't know too much about it, but already I'm starting to see like more variants, new variants. And then there was another case of bird flu flying around too. So if something else happens or comes out, these guys are definitely in some kind of trouble, but they don't have to come back to where they were. I think if they do, which is possible down the road, but I think it's going to take a long time for a lot of these guys. Somebody wants to look at XPEV. Yeah, so this is going to be a Chinese related name. It's also ADR. Anytime you see ADR, just keep in mind you're not actually buying shares of that company. It's executed through contracts. So they're not, XPEV is not actually traded on the US market. So when you're buying BABA, when you're buying XPEV, a couple other ones, you're buying actual contracts that relate to the Chinese market, but you don't actually own any shares of that. You own a contract. So keep that in mind. Those contracts could play a little bit differently. Anything Chinese related. So these guys are down same as before. I could see, let's see, we have to actually switch over to a weekly chart on this guy. It's down $2. So you're at some type of support. Again, there's going to be these guys, they could all be delisted. Every single one of these guys could be delisted. So the question that you really have to ask yourself is, do you think they're honestly getting delisted? If the answer is no, I mean, at least XPEV is at some type of support, but it doesn't actually mean it's a variant of Omicron. Oh my goodness. It just doesn't go away. I don't understand. On a technical basis, this is a retest gap. I would expect it to move to the upside. However, I think the fear indicator is extremely high on any Chinese stock. I think they could have, or I think a lot of them will be delisted. I don't know if all of them get delisted, but I think there is a good shot some or a lot of them do get delisted. And again, we have much bigger perspective as far as what could happen. Does China do anything to Taiwan? Do they get involved? Are they getting sanctions? I heard talks about China getting sanctioned because they're aiding Russia, but then there was another article that said that was all fake. So I don't know. It's still very fluid. It's not any of the stocks that I kind of want to be involved with right now. I think there's a lot of extra risk to all of these things. And if we look at BABA, so I know Charlie Munger was picking up some BABA. Again, he's got a lot of money. So he could sit through things for a lot longer than probably myself or you can. So he likes the fundamentals of the company. I do agree the company standing alone by itself is a strong company. I think there's a lot of outside factors that is going to affect it. You'll also see ADR up in the title. So again, here in the US at least, we're not actually buying Alibaba. We're buying contracts that represent shares on the exchange. If there's more sanctions to China, these guys continue to go down. Again, 52-week lows. These type of companies, I just don't feel comfortable enough to want to even add to any portfolio at this point. INTC, Intel, again, still just looks bearish. Everything is kind of feeling the same. So this one's gapping up a little bit, about 10 cents, still inside yesterday's range. Pretty strong bearish close. I mean, that very, very small wick at the bottom. But 45.94, at least you're getting a little bit of a gap. It still looks just atrocious. So like, if you're talking long term, I think there's a spot to buy Intel. I don't think Intel goes anywhere. And I think these are the type of companies, and they do have dividends, at least for now. I don't think they made any cuts or anything like that. These are some companies, and I do own Intel. So in the long term, I could definitely see them coming down more. But these are the type of companies, if you're adding slowly, you're building positions. I think there will be a time within the next 10 years that the price is higher than $46. But if the entire market continues to sell and everything keeps coming down, there's going to be a good chance that these guys are not, they're not coming down to this. Actually, I was looking at the weekly, so we're inside of last week's. If anybody plays gaps, so any of the weekly gaps that are happening, those are obviously going to be even stronger than daily. So if you find any weekly gaps, let me know. But yeah, we're still in yesterday's range. So I just want to verify, make sure that yesterday's or Friday's candle wasn't different so much than the weekly. But yeah, just a pure sell-off week. Any type of a bounce, I'm looking to probably look to be short. Lucian says, I thought TradingView used to have the ADR label, but I don't see it anymore. That I couldn't tell you. Yeah, so I use TradingView, but I don't use it as much as Thinkorswim. It had this is Thinkorswim, John. So this is not TradingView. So like I have TradingView on the other screen, but I put my key lines on that one for right now, just to see where I think the overall trend is going, and then I'm pretty much day trading off of Thinkorswim. NEE short term. NEE. So you're looking at some of the energy companies. Yeah, I think I prefer fuel cell. I prefer plug, just because I'm more familiar with them. I'm not as familiar with NEE with Nextera. You did have a nice little pump. You still have Joe Biden in the White House. You have Democrats in charge of the House and Congress and Senate and everything. So they typically tend to lean a little bit more to clean energy. And so I would say if you're going with any energy play, yeah, probably these guys are at least would be in the running for it. Right now, we are gapping up about 25, 30 cents. Still in yesterday's range. I would almost want to see some kind of a bigger pullback. That's a good bullish engulfing candle. You do have a nice double bottom. You are starting to break through. So how I would probably look to play this one is wait for a break of like 81, 81.20 or higher. And then see if we can get some more momentum to kind of continue up. This green line on my chart's at 89 moving average. You can see anytime it kind of got down to that 89, it started to fade and bounce off of that. So very strong moving average, but let's get above that first, and then let's see if we can make a play for the upside, catch some momentum with it. Right now, you had momentum. It is starting to fade. Again, I don't know how this one will play out extremely short term, but if there's momentum in it, then I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll let it do its thing. I almost prefer it to come back almost to like 76, 72 zone. If it gets down there, I think it's worth a try, just kind of retesting this bullish engulfing candle. Most bullish engulfing candles will come back probably to the top of the candle it's engulfing. So realistically, that could take us to about $74, something like that. But yeah, I prefer to play that one more momentum than anything. It's kind of a bummer that they don't show that anymore. There might be a way to get it back on. I don't know if there's a certain setting. Airbnb gapping down below two bullish engulfing candles. Oh, this one does look weak. 143. It depends on where this thing actually opens, though. It's a large spread, so it depends on when this thing opens. You have about $1.70 on a spread. So right now it could look like it, but where it opens could be very different. We'll have to watch. But yeah, if it does close, I agree. If it does open underneath those, you're still stacked bearish. you might have a little bit of retest because you had almost a bearish engulfing candle on Friday. So we'll see if this thing pulls down. Again, I'll probably be looking for about 142 initially, but I don't really, we're not really in an uptrend right now. So I'm not really looking for those bounces. So yeah, probably look for the fade lower on this one. And again, I think it just depends on when this thing opens. But we have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Somebody's asking for AMPH in YouTube. For anybody on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you guys get notified as far as any new content, anytime we go live, anytime we're doing the pre-market analysis, or just have videos about new strategies, techniques, how to trade markets, or what to watch out for markets. If you guys do have that notification bell, click that, and you guys will be able to receive that one. AMPH, pharmaceuticals, they will trade on news. So anytime there's rumors something could get approved, you're going to get some kind of bullish move, usually on the news. When they do get approved, they fade down. I haven't been watching this one, but to me, that looks like some kind of a news break, a news candle. Looks like there was earnings as well. So potentially that's actually an earnings play. That's a big, massive candle. I'm not chasing it up here. I would wait for this thing to come down. I don't jump into pharmaceuticals. The best time is right after they just get absolutely clapped, and because something did not get approved or something like that, you'll see massive 50% moves, things like that. But if you still like the company or something like that, you could dip your toes in and hope that they make it to the next phase or something like that. So pharmaceuticals are usually very news oriented, but that looks like more of an earnings candle. It did have a rip, and you're already kind of again, it's a wide spread, so it depends on where this one opens. If you get more follow through, I'd have to wait for at least a 50% retrace, somewhere down to like $32 minimum, if not a lot more to get in. What did they do? I don't know. The bird flu thing is back. So if they're the bird flu industry, I mean, whew, they got a bright future. I'll tell you that much, at least for the next month. That's a big, massive candle, though. Let me see if the SPY changed at all. SPY still technically inside day. We have the 100 is this blue line down here. That one is getting rejected at the moment. We are just entering right below the 10 EMA. So again, a lot of bearish candles out there. We had a big bearish day Friday. I would expect potentially some kind of bounce in some direction. Tesla might, I don't know. Tesla might just see a quick drop to 767. If there's no bounce on a lot of these things, if this market just opens and just starts selling, as this is some type of retest on the SPY, it could get ugly. But if it does rip, I'm still going to be leaning a little bit more bearish and trying to short any of the rips that come in. So we'll see. PFE is advising another booster shot. I think I don't know, but I think the government did some kind of thing where they mail out free tests to everybody. Like I over the weekend, I literally got a coronavirus test in the mail. And I was like, I thought this was over. Didn't we end this thing? Better, you got one too? Yeah, better late than never, I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, good to whatever company is producing those, because they're still raking it in. Quick drop on Roblox so far. All right, YouTube. Unfortunately, this is where we got to part ways. I'm going to close down the live stream. Be safe out there in the market. We will be back tomorrow. I believe Tony is going to be doing a live stream on YouTube for pre-market analysis. You guys are incredible, and I will catch all of you guys later.